What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, I do want to go ahead and thank each and every one of you guys who tuned into yesterday's live stream. I gotta say, it was a lot more support than we usually see on the Twitch channel, and I really do appreciate it because, like I always say, it is nearly impossible for me to play Battlefield 2042 alone, you know? So to grind out clips and to grind out footage on this game is just an absolute nightmare when I don't have a squad playing with me. So to see all of you guys and all the new faces tuning in was just an absolute pleasure. Guys, I really do appreciate that. If you do want to check out any of my other streams, I stream every single day besides Sundays. And actually, today we are going to be playing some Call of Duty Vanguard, possibly moving over to Cold War. But if you guys want to partake in that, we always have open lobbies, and we are going to be doing private matches. So if you guys just want to hang out, vibe out, or anything of that sort, then by all means, tune into the stream. Just hit me up in chat. You can add me, and you can join right into the private match. We're going to be pretty much doing that all day long for about 4 hours. We start around 12 p.m. Eastern time. We'll go up until like 4 p.m. Eastern time, the usual. So if you guys want to partake in any of that stuff, or even check out any of my other socials like Twitter or Discord, the link to that stuff is down in the description. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today is a massive commentary because it truly does expose Battlefield 2042 and why this game absolutely sucks. Now, if you guys remember, a couple of videos ago, well, not a couple of videos ago, it was a little while ago, I mentioned that I would love to see 128 players come into Flashback Conquest. Not really something that I would want to see permanent, but I would love to see if the developers would test out this concept. So guess what happened? Today, well, yesterday, because I record all my videos the day before for anybody who's new to the channel, but yesterday, they decided to go ahead and put Flashback Conquest back into the portal rotation, but instead of 64 players, they bumped it up finally to 128. And when I tell you that I was excited to finally give this a try, I was truly excited. But one of the main things that I wanted to see while going ahead and trying out 128 player Conquest, well, Flashback Conquest, was, is it playable? Because, as we all know, a lot of players don't like 128 players when it comes to all-out warfare. They prefer the 64 players, or they just go to Portal for any of their other experiences. So I wanted to test out if 128 players is just simply a bad concept for a Battlefield game, or if it's just because the maps and the gameplay are just so horribly put together in the main course of the game, and, you know, they work a little bit better in Portal. So, like I said, I went ahead, I tried it out, I played for about 4 hours. I do apologize, I don't have that many clips because for some reason I didn't see how much storage I had on my PC when I was clipping stuff. It was only clipping stuff for like 5 seconds because I had no memory. So it might be some reclipped footage here for the Flashback Conquest 128, but I gotta say, every second that I had in this playlist was an absolute blast. Now, I have seen on the internet from a few people saying that they don't like 128 players, and, you know, I can understand to a certain degree because it doesn't play that amazing. And when I say it doesn't play amazing, I mean the game isn't optimized around it. You could definitely tell that DICE didn't make 128 players from the ground up. You know, this was probably a last-second concept that they forced into the game just to give it an extra hype. You know, oh, how can we get players to, you know, want to go ahead and buy Battlefield 2042? You know, it's a bad game. What could really hype them up? Oh, double the player count? You know, Battlefield fans love all-out warfare. They love massive fights, so double the player count, that'll definitely get people to buy it. But they never actually went through and made it perform correctly. 128 players across the board is just really bad. 128 players in all-out warfare, and also 128 players when it comes to the Portal playlist here, Flashback Conquest. It's not the best. You know, the gunfights are a little inconsistent. You know, the guns themselves are extremely inconsistent. The lags, the stutters, the performance. You know, 128 players just doesn't function. And again, people are going to say, well, you know, you're playing on Flashback Conquest maps. They're very small. You know, for 120 players, you're really stuffing people into it. But I gotta be honest, it's not just Flashback Conquest. Like I said, it's across the whole board. You know, it plays the exact same way as if I went to play 128 player Conquest on, like, what's a map? I can't even think of any of the base maps in the game because they're so freaking horrible. Manifest or something, I don't know. Maybe that's the name of the map. I don't know. Who cares, bro? They're so bad. They're such bad map designs. But, you know, it plays the same way, you know, performance-wise. The performance of All-Out Warfare over the Portal is the same one as 120 players. The game was never meant for that. But I hope with all the negative criticism and all the negative feedback, DICE will not take it. I'm really hoping so because I don't think 128 players is bad. I think it's phenomenal, and it's the right direction that DICE should be taking for the Battlefield franchise. Battlefield is all about all-out warfare. Massive battles, massive wars. And what do massive wars have? Tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of infantry, whether they're in tanks, vehicles, helicopters, or they're just ground troops. It doesn't matter. There's a lot of people when it comes to all-out battles. I mean, there's tons of games out there who've done it fantastically. Like MAG, for example. That game was fantastic. It was on PlayStation. I believe it was 200 plus players were allowed in one lobby. It worked fantastic. I loved it. Games are capable of doing so. But you want to know why it doesn't work in Battlefield 2042? I can 110% confirm this now after playing 4 hours of Flashback Conquest. 128 players don't work because the maps suck. Battlefield 2042 has simply the worst map selection I've ever touched across the board in any game. And it took all the way until now to confirm it because I'm going to be honest, I felt a little crazy. You know, I was thinking to myself, you know, it can't be that bad, right? From all the other maps that we've seen in so many different franchises, it can't be just the maps. But it is just the maps. If the maps were changed, and specialists were removed, Battlefield 2042 would be completely accepted. Even with how the movement is right now and the gunplay and all that stuff, it would be polished over time. This game would not be as dead as it is right now if the maps actually functioned. I was able, like I said, to play 4 hours of Flashback Conquest, 128 players, and again, I thought it was going to be a little weird having 128 players for maps that were specifically designed for 64 players. But it seems that it works fantastic. It works amazing. Now, again, the performance is a little rough. 128 players just doesn't simply work in Battlefield 2042 whatsoever because the game isn't optimized around 128 players. But to say 128 players just doesn't work in general and it's a bad concept for Battlefield and should be scrapped is completely false because it plays fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, we finally have proof that the maps in Battlefield 2042 are garbage. Now, I know a lot of you guys don't need proof because you've already played the game. But like I said, the developers are trying their hardest to push through what they're making. They have to just be told 110% right to their faces exactly what's wrong. DICE, specialists suck, okay? The maps suck. Okay? I don't want you guys to take any of this feedback and go into the next game and say, okay, these guys don't want anything creative. We're going to make the most bare-bone class system ever. They don't want, any, big-scaled maps or anything like that because I love large-scaled maps. I am a fan of large-scale. If you have watched me for a long time, I hate small maps. I'm a Call of Duty fan. I've been playing Call of Duty for life. I don't like maps like Nuketown. I don't like Shipment. The only small map that I really care for is Kill House from Call of Duty 4 and maybe Dome from World at War. And Dome from Modern Warfare 3 as well, all the domes. But small maps aren't really, I don't even consider Dome from Modern Warfare 3 even that much of a small map. I just don't care for small maps. I think medium to large are the best because they offer more flank routes and they encourage aggressive gameplay while still allowing players to play, passive if they want to. In a small map, you don't do that. In small maps, you go to the middle, you hold it down, and you bait spawns. That's literally the whole purpose. You see these 100 to 200 kill games because, guess what? They're baiting spawns. Am I right or am I wrong? I mean, that's just how you play small maps. It's common sense. It's common logic. So trust me, guys, I don't hate the big map designs. Trust me, that's not the problem. The bigger the maps, why not? But the way you design the big maps is the issue. The core map designs are horrible. When I can go into Portal that has maps that were designed from the ground up when DICE went to develop these games from the ground up for 64 players, and they just randomly decide to stuff in 120 players. They stuffed us into these maps. They just straight on stuffed us in. You're telling me that it still plays better than maps that were specifically designed for 128 players? I still have freedom in these old school maps. I still have time off from gunfights. I don't have to be fighting every 5 seconds. There's multiple occasions where, I'm running off to a flag and there's only like a couple of people there. And there's 128 players on the map and I'm only finding a couple of people on one flag. And you expect that to transfer over to a map that's like almost 4 to 5 times as big that you're making for Battlefield 2042, where I can't even find one person on one flag. Do you see what I'm saying here? These maps work perfectly. The size is perfect. The flow is perfect. The only thing that's missing is the performance. If the performance was better, this right here would be the perfect mix of battle. I would be in love because I love chaotic crap in battle. Don't get me wrong. I love lockers. I love Metro. I like those close quarter, combat where it's not much, movement. Same thing as a Call of Duty small map, You basically wait for a spawn point, you hold it, and you just shred people down. It's the same concept with lockers and Metro. And I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. I completely enjoy it. But I love the chaotic vibes that it constantly offers. You know what I'm saying? But the thing that Battlefield does so well is that they get that same chaotic vibe as stuffing all of those players into one area. They can get the same vibe as that on a larger map. DICE has always been known for doing that. That's what makes Battlefield so special and insane and creates all these Battlefield moments, is that they're able to make these, these sandboxes, these open areas that you can just explore and have fun, while still being able to give us a good flow of combat across the board. They were not able to succeed with that this year with Battlefield 2042. Well, last year. It's not this year, obviously. But they were not able to succeed with that. That is one of their biggest problems. I have finally come to the conclusion that truly, those are the two things that need to be done. Maps and specialists. There's simply no way around it. There is literally no way around it. They can try to, revamp the specialists as much as they want, but until they remove them and bring back the class system and go ahead and, add in better maps for the season pass, And I don't even know what the reworked versions of these maps are going to be like. I mean, like I said, it just makes no difference. It truly makes no difference. We're going to see the flag rotations. That's what really matters. They can add as much cover as they want onto these maps, but if the flag rotations aren't rearranged in a way that encourages more combat, that's going to be a huge problem as well. I don't know, man. DICE, thank you for adding in 128 players. We really do appreciate that, truly. I've been chatting it up in the comment section of these games a lot. It seems like a lot of people are enjoying this. There's a few people who think it's pretty bad, but it seems like the mass majority of every single game that I get into, people really enjoy the experience. You have created something here that is fantastic, and hopefully, as you usually do, you will cycle this in with Infantry Conquest, which honestly, I won't even mind not seeing Infantry Conquest ever again. Flashback Conquest is the best. Infantry Conquest is cool and all. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like not having the vehicles and, just gun-on-gun action. But Infantry Conquest has all the Battlefield 2042 maps. Bro, if they took out the 2042 maps in Infantry Conquest, it'll be perfect, but they don't. They have them in there, so I hate it still. Flashback Conquest is the way, baby. This is the way, and I really do appreciate you guys bumping up the player count. Let's hope that in the future games, you take what you did in this, you see right here, and you excel on it. That's all people wanted. Everybody wanted just the same action that you can get in, an Operation Locker's lobby, but with 128 players. You don't have to make the maps the most large-scale things in the world. You don't want to make them too small either. But they're trying to overcompensate. And that's not healthy for the game, and it's not healthy for them either, because they're just going to hear nonstop crap for the community for the whole life cycle. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like, bonus, I hate it, leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new, enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification button. Also, want to chat with me, there's two ways to do so. I have a Twitter and Discord, below the link down in the description. And also, you can catch me live streams of video games over on Twitch. Link that is in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.